Hello and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Michal Klaus with Ataccama, and we are partnering with CDO Magazine, MIT CDO IQ, and the International Society of Chief Data Officers in a series of interviews. Today, I have the pleasure of talking with Ron Thompson, Chief Data Officer and Deputy Digital Transformation Officer at NASA. Hi, Ron, how are you doing today?
Good. Hi, Michael. How are you? I'm doing just fine. Good to be with you today.
Same here, same here. So Ron, we have an interesting few topics for today. I will start with something that many people probably would be interested to hear. Traditional CDO, chief data officers are more involved or concerned with matters that that relate to the internal use of data and policies, etc. But in your CDO role, let alone the digital transformation role, your role is kind of much broader. Would you be able to describe how your role is kind of different from, let's say, a very traditional CDO role?
Absolutely, Michael. So if you really look at NASA's mission and really what we do, the first A in NASA is aeronautics, right? A lot of people think of human exploration and space flight. That's very important to us, but it's not the only thing we do. So the advancement of aeronautics to make sure, like we do research in low sonic boom, that's the next generation, hypersonic flight, just getting technologies into that domain is really, really important to us. So that's really, we work with commercial partners and aerospace companies to make sure we pass that research forward. So that's just one example. And if you look at NASA's data sets, the largest data set that we have is really our open science data set. And we have part of our science and research mission directorate is really to liberate the data that we collect on the planet. We study the Earth, we study other planetary systems, we study the stars, we study, the sun. So all these observation data that we have is our largest data set, and that is externally available. It is part of our open science initiative that we are taking a look at those data sets. And if you look historically over time, Michael, these data sets were purpose built. They were really organized by different programs. So we're working with that directorate to make sure that we have easy to search, easy to access these data sets. So we're taking a human-centered design, and I know we'll talk a little bit about how we do this in our conversation today, but just an approach to go back and make sure our data is accessible, our data is easy to use, and then we're able to mash up our data with other observation data from the private sector and other government agencies. So that's really our largest data set, and it is externally faced. So
that's very exciting. I believe for many CDOs who might be interested to do something like this, but their data is mostly used internally. Would you have any interesting example, any use case how scientists are using the data that you guys make available?
Well, just look at our climate. We know our climate is changing. In my lifetime alone, I just see, the vast changes. I live very close to the water, so I can see these vast changes actually occur. So that's how it affects me. So these climate data, again, are available to further predict floods, for example, further predict wildfires, for example. So that data is out there to really, advance our science and advance our prediction, advance our analytics, advance our modeling and what we know. Yep. So really, as we go out in time, the more historical data we have bring into these models, the more accurate we are able to predict in the future. So if you look at it, it's really, Michael, to provide hindsight, insight, and foresight of predicting data, for a use case like climate.
Interesting. So if you were to give some kind of advice to the CDOs or digital transformation officers, who are thinking, because it is also a trend, right? In let's say the commercial organizations who are thinking to publish some data as open data, or even monetize the data, right? Because most organizations really have very valuable data sets, and they can directly, maybe they can directly leverage it for data monetization. So any advice how to start, how to go about it?
I would just say, we've been doing this for a while now. We have decades of public available data. We're just starting to get into that effective versus efficient model, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would say we're very effective in that. We're working to be more proficient or efficient in how we deliver it. So I would say leverage open standards wherever you can.
Yeah.
Don't feel that everybody's unique, but you have to celebrate that uniqueness and have that legitimate uniqueness, but also adopt standards for interoperability. And then really take a look at veracity of your data, right? Make sure that the worst case is you publish something and everybody's questioning it, or it has a variance from what they're able to see. So you really need to be mindful of the veracity and make sure that quality is the highest, utmost. And then lastly, make sure it's valuable, right? Make sure it is important and valuable to whomever's using it, so you don't want to put something out that, hey, it's really not really benefiting. But those are the top three things, Michael, that I would say. Leverage those open standards, open sources, veracity, and the value.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting. I didn't think of that, but it is still quite different to create some kind of, let's say, internal data product, and it might have some gaps in it, some quality issues, and people will not be happy about it, right? Internally, but it is quite different to publish this data product externally, because then it's the whole reputation of the organization is actually on the line, right?
Exactly. So and we want to partner with our external companies that use our data, to publish other products that, down the value chain. But, we want to make sure, across government, there are many organizations that do collect data from citizens, that collect observation data like we do in the scientific community, right? So we want to make sure that is factual as we possibly can make it.
I think we could really spend the whole day discussing the details of it, and I think it's very inspiring to hear in this type of let's say questionnaire organization how you're able, in a sense, to do your job, right? So Ron, thanks a lot for joining us today. I believe myself, I have learned a lot, and I believe our audience will learn as well a lot about NASA. And for everyone, please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you, Ron. Hope to see you some other day.
Thank you, Michael. It's nice meeting you, and thank you for having me on today. It's great to tell the NASA story and celebrate what our folks are doing here. Just thank you very much.
Thank you.